Welcome, Capricorn and Capricorn cross watchers, to your monthly love reading for April 2023. So we're going to get a card for the situation between you, and then we're going to look at what each of you is thinking, feeling, and intentions towards each other. Interesting. So this card was the one that just kind of flipped out there. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, and then we have the Chariot and the Moon all reversed. So I'm just going to move these around so you guys can see everything. You know what, Cap? I'm kind of feeling like something may have fallen apart here. Excuse me. And it's almost like it's either like you saw it coming, you weren't surprised when it happened. There seems to be something here that it's almost like sorry about that, everybody. My son was just calling from school. So it just seems like, the Chariot usually talks about determination and discipline and that sort of thing. And then the Moon talks about the unknown. And it just kind of feels like it's almost this energy of like either you warned somebody or you saw it coming, or there seems to be something here like you knew something was going to end badly, and it did. And I feel like part of you, it's like you feel bad that it happened the way that it did, but it's almost, and it's not this like snarky energy like, well, I warned you or I told you so. It feels more that it's like, it's almost like you feel bad because you don't feel bad, if that makes sense. It's almost like you feel like you should feel bad, but because there was almost like fair warning, you don't. There isn't this guilt, right? It's almost like even if the external world is picking up on that, that's not at all what you're feeling. I'm just going to do this on my knee away from the camera because I know it's really loud on the table. I do feel like there is something here that you're not seeing. It does feel like there's some sort of element that's on its way that you may not know just yet. Let's get into what's going on and what's Capricorn's person thinking about them. What's their person thinking about them? Oh. And they're feeling the Two of Wands. Okay. And what's Capricorn thinking? What's in Capricorn's head? I'm hearing the words "it's over." Well, that could mean a lot of things, right? I feel like it's almost like I want to cry. I feel like your feelings may have changed about somebody here. Oh, sorry. I'm just actually realizing that you can't see all of the cards. There we go. That's better. Sorry about that. I also kind of feel like listen, Cap, it kind of feels like, oh, look at this, right? Five of Pentacles. Good Lord. Wow. Lots of synchronicity in this read. Cap, I kind of feel like your feelings have changed here. And it's almost like this person, I kind of feel like it's almost like this you don't even know kind of energy that they're kind of sending towards you. I feel like to them, it's almost like you don't even know. It's almost this energy of like, they're not going to let you get away. Hang on. But it's not that like really aggressive, stalkery sort of, no one else can have you but me sort of thing. It actually does feel like it's a pretty sweet, steady, kind of long standing energy. It feels like it's the kind of person that it's almost like if it took them years to win you over, that's cool. That's cool with them. I feel like this person is under the impression that um, when it's almost like they feel that when you act like you're happy, that it's fake, that it's all an act. And I feel like it's almost like if you act like everything's fine around this person, they play into that. They're like, yep, that's, like they just act like they are none the wiser. But to them, it's almost like they feel like you are pretending to be this happy child, happy, innocent, but you're actually, the look on that horse's face is not one that's happy, right? It just kind of feels like it's almost like something's off. Something like I will do my very best to feel. Sorry, my hands are really dry. Just had to wash a whole bunch of dishes. I feel like there's something here, almost like it almost feels like you're disconnected from something. It's kind of like, here's your gorgeous yellow card with all of this, yellow's that color of happiness, right? And you've got all this abundance around you, and it's almost like you're kind of on your throne in this area, in this bubble that's got all this abundance, but you're surrounded by almost like a graveyard. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't really understand, like, not a graveyard necessarily, but it's almost like if that's where you are, the whole surrounding is like it's a cornfield that's been burnt to the ground, but it hasn't quite got, it's not that it hasn't got to you. It's like, it's just kind of the black charred sort of stuff. And I feel like, and here you are. And I almost want to say, and this might not be for all of you. I feel for some of you, it's almost like you may have known that that cornfield was going to get burnt, And it's almost like, and I feel like to a certain extent, it feels like for some of you, it's like a while ago, you were trying to warn people, trying to be like, hey guys, we all gotta, it's almost like whatever bubble you built for yourself that protected you from that, you were trying to tell everybody to do the same thing. And when they didn't, it's almost like it broke your heart, but it's like you just stopped trying to convince them to prepare for what you knew was coming, because it's like, it almost feels for some of you that whatever you've been preparing for, it may have even lost you friends. You know what I'm saying? It's like people may have felt that you were obsessed about with something that wasn't real, or wasn't this or wasn't that. And it's like, it just feels like you feel alone, but really grateful that you didn't like stop doing that preparation, if that makes sense. I feel like for you, it's almost like you're going through this like huge change. You're kind of in this hermit energy. You are complete. I'm going to be honest. I feel like externally you are completely turned away from this person. What's interesting is that in your headspace about this person, we have the death card. So I feel like with this, you're actually almost, it's almost like if somebody wanted you to make a decision about this right now, you wouldn't be able to. And not because you're indecisive, but more because there's so much that's changing right now, not just in your head, but in your heart as well, that it just feels like, it's almost like if somebody asked you what the color blue is, I feel like you're so focused on your internal world, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, all the things you're processing. It's almost like you'd look at them with this blank stare. It's like it would almost take you a second to hop into it, to answer the question, because there's so much going on for you. And I feel like for those of you that that's resonating with, saying like there's so much going on with you, it feels like that might really hit some people hard. It's almost like people don't acknowledge that about you. Maybe you're not somebody that talks about it a lot. And it's almost like, that person that seems like they've always got it together, nobody's going to check in with them. And like, so for example, if you're someone that's really capable, when you have a lot on your plate, when you're stressed out, it's almost like it's not a thing. People aren't checking in with you because you just handle it. It feels like it's one of those things where it's like, even just me saying that you've got a lot on your plate, that there's so much going on, it feels like it might make some of you tear up a little bit, just to feel almost like you're not alone. I feel like there are some changes that either you have been making or you are in the process of making that are necessary, but painful. And I feel like the old you may have felt that you were heartless. Other people may see that way too. But it's like, I wanted to say the new kind of improved version of you, but it doesn't feel that way because it was so hard won. Doesn't mean you don't feel that you've improved, but it's like you can't compare how you're feeling to the new shiny sort of, thing. I feel like there's something that you're excited about that you're trying to keep a lid on. You're trying to keep it's almost like when you think about it, I feel like you get giddy. And what's interesting is it's like you might get giddy about this thing, but then this other energy, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then as soon as you start to feel that, like, oh my gosh, your brain is like, nope, we're not going to do that right now. Like there's something here that you are keeping a very close lid on. It's almost like you're concerned about appearing too excited. I feel like it's almost like I'm not calling you an evil genius. That's just for comedic relief, right? It feels like there's a bigger part of your plan, and it's almost like your true emotion or your excitement about said plan. If that was to kind of come out, it's like you would still be able to get what you want, but it's almost like you wouldn't be able to do it behind closed doors. I feel you would be able to do it even if it was out in the open, but there's something about it's almost like you want to prove to yourself that you can do it behind closed doors. So, I mean, this is your attitude towards this person, and this person's over here, right? They're here, and I feel to a certain extent, you may not even really feel them there. It's almost kind of going back to that bubble, right? It's like, it's almost the energy of that person. And it's this isn't to say that you do or do not dress in a certain type of way, okay? It's just the energetics of it. It's almost that person that like, they don't dress super fancy, they don't flaunt their money, but when you get, it's like, it's that kind of person that's really quiet, and then you get to know them and they're so beautifully complex, and it's like, it's somebody that can kind of talk about this and talk about that, and it's almost like, and they seem to be so I want to say well educated. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've had this much or that much school. It just feels like it's the kind of person that regardless of what someone's talking to you about, you're able to have an intelligent conversation with them. But I feel like there's so few people that you're offering that to right now. I feel like this person has seen that in you. I'm not so sure you've actually interacted with them in that way, but they know it's there. It's almost like maybe they know somebody that knows you really well, or they, hold on for a sec. Or it's like, or they had kind of, it's like, it's almost like they may have had one day, one moment of that with you. And for some reason, it's like you were pulled away or you were distracted and the whole conversation just shut down. And this person's kind of like, wait a second, I need more of that. So it's like they want more of you and you're over here. I'm not saying this to be crappy, okay? So And you're over here, it's like either you don't know they exist, you know that they're there, but it's almost like, it feels like this energy of like either you can feel that they're there, but you question their intentions, or you're like, I'm sure there's a million different reasons as to why you're not turning around, but it does feel like it's that you actually may not be seeing the sincerity in this person. So what they're, thinking and feeling and intending with you, all good cards, right? So in their headspace, we have the Three of Pentacles. That talks about wanting to work together with someone to build something. It's not, and the threes are all about manifesting. So this person, I actually feel like this person's really endearing, or at least that energy is. It's almost like they've got this. I'm not trying to gush. It just, their energy is so, it seems to have this real like purity, but knowledgeable, right? It's not an naive innocence. It's that kind of person that maybe, like, life hasn't been kind to anybody, let's be honest, right? Or at least not always kind. I shouldn't say it hasn't been kind to anybody. It is kind, but we've all had our trials and tribulations, right? But this person hasn't let that sour them, or if they did, they don't anymore, right? And it's almost like there's something about you that I feel has kind of, if this person, oh, I feel like I'm going to cry. If this person was in a place where they had lost hope, there's something about having met you that has made them feel like, holy shiz. You know what I mean? Like there's this moment of like, it's almost like this person has spent the last several years manifesting their perfect partner. And it's like, and they had just kind of been like, you know what? F it. When you're manifesting something and you've been working on it, you're manifesting, you're doing all the things. And it's like, and you're not just, to me as a human, right? The way that I've learned manifesting is like, you set the intention. And it's like, and in the choices that you make, you bring it into your life, right? It's like if you think about good vibes, that's great, but you're still, the manifestation is actually making those choices, right? It's just, you make those choices naturally when you're in the place of already feeling like you have it. Anyway, I'm rambling. So I feel like this person, it's almost like they're looking at you, wanting to tear up a bit and being like, holy crap, this manifestation thing might actually work. You know what I'm saying? And it's what's really like poignant and beautiful about it is that they're not sitting here thinking you're perfect, right? This person isn't sitting here in this dream world looking at you through rose-colored glasses thinking that, you're going to be this type of person or that type of person and everything's just going to be perfect all the time, right? It's like, it feels more like they see you as the real person that you are. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like this person would, it's almost kind of like teasing your personality out of you, right? Because you are closed off. And it's not like a, angry whatever, right? It's just, you're just working on yourself. So it's almost like I feel like they would enjoy the process of bringing you out of your shell. And it's almost like, if they kind of brought you out of your shell and you just kind of peeked out and they'd be like, oh, hey, and you'd be like, oh, wait, there's people out here. Okay, bye. And you retreated. It's almost like they would kind of giggle to themselves that you peeked out in the first place. You know what I mean? It's almost like you peeking out and them giggling to themselves is almost this moment of like, yep, they peeked out. I know this is going to work. And it's not a like, diabolical sort of, evil geniusy vibe either, right? It just feels like the kind of person that has this very steady, consistent energy. And I almost want to say, I feel like they may have gone through their own personal transformation. They may not have been somebody that ever was able to keep a secret or ever had any, what do you call it? Not that they didn't have any self-control, but they weren't somebody that achieved their goals because they had a hard time resisting temptation. And not that they're, a serial cheater or anything. It's not like that. It's more like if they were trying to save money and they saw something in the store that they really liked, it's like they would go on the impulse and buy it. and they would enjoy that thing, but when the novelty wore off, they'd be like, oh, I'm really, you know what I mean? It's that kind of an energy. And it's almost like there's something about you that's made them level up and be like, wait a second, I can actually have the things that I want. Hold the phone. You know what I mean? It seems to have really brought out the best in this person. And it's almost like in being able to manifest you. And I want to be really clear. It's not to put pressure on you and make you feel like you have to be with this person or anything. It's like, it's just the fact that you have entered this person's life. It seems to have made them believe that they can create their own world. They can kind of create their own life because you're kind of exactly what they were looking for. And it's almost like in meeting you and you being kind of reserved, right? And they're ready to go. And you're kind of like, wait. It's not even wait. I feel like for some of you, you might hear them kind of knocking on the door, but it's almost like, but you're either, and now this is probably not everybody. This is how I'm kind of relating to the energy. I tend to procrastinate. Okay. It just is what it is. It's something I'm working on. I'm working on it. Okay. But I do. So when it's that last 5 minutes, when someone says that they're going to be there at 8 o'clock and they arrive at 7:55, and like, I needed that last 5 minutes to keep tidying up. And so you can hear them at the door and it's kind of like, I'm just going to pretend I can't hear them because I just got to get this done. And I kind of feel like it's that type of energy. Not that you were procrastinating. I mean, you are a Capricorn. Hello, right? But it does feel like, it's almost like, it feels like there was some sort of guideline or boundary set. And I feel like it's almost like you've learned that even if you set a boundary, you're going to, and there is some wiggle room, you're going to stick to it anyway, because otherwise people start taking liberties. For example, going back to that 8 o'clock, 7:55, right? It's like, if you've told people that they can be there at 8 and they get there before 8, door's not opening. You know what I'm saying? It's like the boundary was set for 8. It's great that you're here early, but 8 o'clock, it was the boundary. And I mean, of course, that's not to say that you would actually do that specific thing, right? But it's that kind of energy. It's like, you've learned that even if you have kind of an opportunity to accommodate somebody, you're not going to go back on the boundaries that you've already set. So their intention towards you, I almost want to say, I feel like this person's going to feel like, or is going to want to make their intentions known to you, but it actually feels like, it's like it might be, oh, sorry, that's my headphones hitting the table. Or like the little, this thing. I feel like this person is going to approach you with the intention of making their intentions known. But it's almost like you seem to be in this almost like, not matter of fact, but like you're just focused elsewhere. And it's almost like they know that if they said it, you might hear the words that they're saying, but the impact or the kind of like purpose behind them, it just feels like when they approach you, it feels like it's not the right time. Which, like, ugh, thanks, Beth, right? Like, thanks. But maybe that's, if this is the kind of energy that you're in, I feel like for some of you, it's almost this like relief mixed with like, oh, okay. It's almost like if you felt this coming and you were kind of gearing up for like an uncomfortable conversation, and then it doesn't need to be had, right? Because they pick up on your energy. It's almost like, and they know the same thing, but neither of you is clearly communicating to the other person that right? So it's almost like you're both able to continue, like, continue with the dynamic or continue with each of your intentions without there being any complications. And it's almost like it might feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's that kind of thing where it's like, and this isn't to say that you will or will not be in any type of way with this person, this month. It does feel like it's the kind of energy where this person just lets you be yourself. I feel like they're not the kind of person that's going to put a ton of pressure on you. I feel like it's going to be refreshing because if you've been in relationships where people have been demanding, or they've wanted this or they've wanted that, or they've been like, just kind of, they've needed you to solve their problems for them. And it's almost like they didn't even need you to. They just almost kind of seem to be desperate for your involvement in their life. And it's almost like any tiny problem, they would come to you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this person isn't like that. And it's almost like there's something about that energy that they have where, um, this isn't the kind of person that's going to stand and, yell from the rooftops that they're on your level, and they're not going to do that. This is the kind of person that seems to have, like, I almost want to say like the stamina and their persistence and the, what's that other word? Almost like the fortitude. I don't know. I hope, or like stick to itiveness, you know what I mean? But not in an aggressive way, in a consistent way. So I think I'll leave it there, Capricorn. If this reading resonated, of course, I hope it was helpful and brought you some clarity. I will, of course, have the words are not coming to me right now. There we go. Sorry. I will have the mini love reads out on Sunday, of course, and then the singles love reads are up next week. So please keep an eye out for those if you are so inclined. I am making my way through the wait list for private reads. So those are, if you would like to, it's no longer a wait list. I'm trying to find a way to say that, but I'm clearly stumbling. It's no longer a wait list. Reads are open, but I am making my way through the wait list before you know what I mean, Capricorn. I don't know why I'm struggling so hard to explain that, but I'm going to stop talking right now. I love you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Much love. Bye.